So guys, we're back with another video. Today we're talking about how trust is great, but ownership is much better. Now, a few years ago in the land of Formula One, there's a team principal, which is kind of like a manager or whatever, for example. And the man's name was Otmar Safnauer. He basically got into this drama with his team that he worked for because he was the boss, but the people above him were saying that he was doing all these things that he wasn't, and he wasn't doing the best job that he should be doing. I assumed, like everyone else, that the things that were going wrong were all his fault. And recently I've seen a podcast of him, and it's completely wrong. And I think that the things he shares in that podcast are so crucial, especially for us self-improvement people, and especially if you really want to become a top 1% man. I think it's key if you watch this video. If you're in charge, you have to make sure that everybody knows it. Everybody respects you, and everybody is kind of working with you. You want to make sure that everybody is working for you, nobody else. Because it happens a lot when you're in charge that people tend to work for other people lower down the food chain than you, whereas they should always be working for you, period. You shouldn't have to rely on anybody else. So someone who doesn't let you in, or main objectives or main plans, that's a red flag. You should straight away think, how can I change this? How can I make sure that I am involved in everything? That people report back to me. People are moving the way that I want them to move, because a great leader needs to take his people in a certain direction, even if it is the wrong direction. It is much better than if they are going in their own direction while you're trying to go in one direction, or you let them lead. You should always be the one leading the direction. So that's what a real leader should do, and that's what you should do if you're trying to be a leader among men or leader of a company. You should always be making sure that you are in charge and everybody knows it. So make sure you're involved. My whole family has a certain pattern of leadership. My father is a project manager. My uncle owns his own carpentry business. My grandfather used to lead a big carpentry firm. If you don't know what carpentry is, it's like a joiner. My other granddad on my mother's side was a head teacher for years. These four roles are all leadership roles. My uncle, forgot all about him. He leads a firm. He founded a firm. He also started a pet shop or something like that, a pet franchise, pet store franchise. All these roles require leadership. All these roles require a direction and someone to lead that direction. Even in school, when I have to rely on someone, I'm not 100% certain in their ability. I'm certain in my ability. I know I can get the job done if I have to, because trust is easily broken. And also, everybody wants power. Everybody's nipping to get power. Everyone's nipping your bud to try and just get a little bit of power. Everyone wants it. So you always have to be aware of that, because the people you think, oh, I can trust, well, they could secretly be trying to take you down and get rid of you and take the power from themselves. Everybody presented with power will take it no matter the consequence. The next point is to really ensure that you have power is make demands. Make sure, like for my dad, for example, he's a project manager. He's been a project manager for many years, and he makes demands. He says, I want this done within the week. I want this done now. He tells someone off if they've done something wrong. He's a good boss, he likes to have a laugh, but he will make sure the job gets done and make sure it's done on time. And to be honest, his whole career that he's been in charge of people, he's always usually been ahead of schedule, miles ahead of schedule, sometimes under budget. That's because he keeps everyone in check. That's because he makes the demand. That's because he gets everything done. He makes sure it's done. He makes sure people reports back to him. That's what makes you a top level man, is to be in charge, is to be a leader. So that's how to be a leader. To really not rely on trust. Remember this. Trust is great. Ownership is better. Have a good day. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed.